Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Gina from Her Cosmic Crown. I highly advise you to watch this video before getting a predictive reading. I love using astrology and playing cards as divination tools. At the same time, I really enjoy using them as a way to learn more about ourselves, to have more self-awareness, to be more introspective, to make meaning of our experiences in this world, which can sometimes feel confusing, and a lot of times we blame God or other people for what we're experiencing. So I kind of wanted to discuss the pros and the cons, I guess, when it comes to predictions. Sometimes I'm cautious about the predictions I make because I feel like, I get scared. Like, what if I'm wrong, what I predicted? I inform my clients that the readings should be treated as a way to understand themselves on a deeper level. And that knowledge should be able to empower them to make their own decisions, come up with their own choices. It's a way for them to have more peace within themselves in a way that, it shouldn't even matter if, something good happens in the future or something bad happens, that they find the peace and they find the inner tools to feel fulfilled and to trust in this kind of cosmic order that whatever happens, they're going to be okay. That is my goal as an astrologer. Not necessarily to do predictions, but to help my clients, to help empower them. I've contemplated this for a while. Like, what if I make a bad prediction and that bad prediction inspires them to take a certain action? And I believe that if someone comes to me for a reading and I do a reading for them, then that was meant to happen. I don't believe that things just happen for no reason. So whatever message I give my client, that is the message that they were meant to hear. And if that inspires them to take a certain action and that action results in something good or bad, that was their decision to make. And it was meant to happen. Was it not meant to happen? Because if it wasn't meant to happen, I don't think it would have happened, if that makes sense. So I think even bad predictions, those are meant to happen. I had a faulty prediction at one point that gave me an inner fire to do something about it, oh no, that's not gonna happen to me. I'm gonna work harder to do this, right? And go in this direction. Well, maybe there's some divine knowledge that was working through that other person to give me that piece of information, because maybe that divine knowledge knows that I'm stubborn and was like, oh, we're gonna give you a faulty prediction because that is gonna fuel you more than a prediction that's, super, oh, everything's gonna be fine, things are gonna be okay. No, that lit a fire up my butt and was like, no, I'm not gonna let that happen, right? So I think the divine just works in different ways, and sometimes those ways could be a faulty prediction. Who knows? So I've learned to be more at peace with not having everything 100% accurate, but I do want to get as close to accurate as possible when it comes to astrology. One thing with predictions that I find a bit interesting and tricky is a lot of times the person who is asking the questions to an astrologer, to the fortune teller, to whoever, they usually are looking for a specific answer because they think that that thing is going to lead them to happiness. So for example, a person might ask, when will I find the right person? When will I be able to get out of this job and get a different job, or when will I move? Now, sometimes we need those things to be at peace, to be in a better place, because sometimes external things really, we need to get out of that situation to be in a better situation. So I'm not talking about those kind of things where there's an emergency situation or things like that, but I'm talking about like a person who thinks that happiness is just around the corner. And the thing is that no matter where we are in life, we're always going to experience bad times, bad moments. We're never going to have everything smooth sailing 100% of the time. So even if we get that new thing in our life, it doesn't mean that we're going to have no troubles. So we need to remember that that's just not the world we live in. There's always going to be some kind of trouble and some kind of hardship, some kind of obstacle, some kind of lesson that we need to learn. So, for example, if a person predicts that, hey, you're not going to find that person until 5 more years or 3 more years, whatever the case may be, that person a lot of times may think like, oh no, I'm going to be unhappy for 3 or 5 years. And that's not necessarily the case. That just can mean that maybe they're not ready or whatever. Maybe it's time to spend more time on and energy on something else. And then also, let's say we are able to predict, oh, you're going to get this person, or this person's going to come in your life tomorrow, or you're going to be able to obtain this thing that you desire. Well, who's to say that you'll even like that thing, or it's not going to end up causing you trouble down the line? The best thing to do, again, I think astrology is here to help to be more at peace in life. No matter what happens, we're happy, we're content. And how to deal with things. How can I be less anxious? How can I be more patient? How can I, move in the right direction? How can I feel more inspired? How can I lead a more purpose-driven life? These are things that I think will help us more than a prediction. Even if the prediction is 100% true, these are the things that can help us in the long run. What do we do with the information that, oh, I'm going to get a promotion in a year? If we have more money in our lives, that doesn't mean we're going to be responsible with that money. That doesn't mean that we're going to be more fulfilled even. There was one time where I was going through an extremely hard time in my life, and I saw an astrologer, and she did a great reading for me, great predictions, and it gave me hope. It gave me hope that I was gonna get out of that dark place, and I did. And so I don't think predictions are 100% bad. I think they can help us to have a new vision for life and, foresee a change, a shift in the timeline. Another question that, people have when it comes to predictions is like in terms of card readings. How does that work? For me, I believe that the divine God, whatever you want to call this force, I think it's omnipresent and it's in everything, and we can see it in everything. And I think that's why when I'm doing like card readings, I can tap into the message from the divine, because there are messages all the time. And so the symbols on the cards, I'm reading those, and then I pass those on to the client. And I just think it's an energy, a force, a vibration that's working through me and through the other person, because all is one, So, and then there's another question that comes up when it comes to predictions. Well, if you can predict things, does that mean that everything is predetermined? This question of like fate and free will, right? And it's kind of interesting to talk about. I think I might have to talk about this in a totally different video, but I'll try to discuss what I mean by that. So the way we think about those things, at least in the current Western world, I can't really relate to those definitions, the way we define it, the way we think about fate and free will. So I'm gonna kind of take those words off out of the equation, because I think it could get confusing. But if we talk about it in a different sense, I think it'll make more sense. So there's something called karma that a lot of people have heard that term by now, but karma basically means our actions, and it's kind of like a footprint of our actions. It leaves behind a footprint. So let's say certain actions we take have a consequence to it. For example, if a person is smoking a lot of cigarettes, packs a day, packs and packs a day, that is going to take a toll on someone's body, right? If someone is careless about what they eat, what they put into their bodies, that can cause physical issues, right? And disease. So we already know about cause and effect. Now there's another aspect that is unseen, and some people believe in past lives. That's a whole different topic, but that could explain things that just don't make sense. They find themselves imprisoned for a crime that they didn't do. Well, perhaps there's this theory out there that maybe there's something that they did in a past life, and now it's time for them to pay back what they did in the past. So our karmas are footprints. They're kind of written into our path. And so as an astrologer, we can look into that. We can see that individual plan for that person based on their karmas, based on the actions they've been taking. So that is one theory. Now, predicting is really complicated. There's a lot of mathematical things involved in that. But as we become better astrologers, as we learn more techniques, I think we're gonna really perfect the prediction, the way we predict in the future. So that is just a fascinating idea and concept. But yeah, I think karma is a thing, and one way we can change our what happens to us in the future is by changing our experiences now, changing our actions today. And astrology brings light to our shadows, our blind spots, like what we don't know is going on. We can, I can read someone's chart and just see like their life lessons, what they're here to learn, their purpose, what inspires them, maybe what they should be doing in life and things like that. And I think it's just a fantastic tool. It's a powerful tool of the present and the future. I think we can become more peaceful. We can become more at peace. We can improve our mental and physical health with this tool if we use it correctly, and to become enlightened as well, and just make better choices in life. And so, yeah, that is one of the things that I use it for, and it's been extremely helpful for me on my path. And yeah, I would love to talk more about these topics. Let me know if you want me to do a video on past lives, or fate versus free will. Let me know your thoughts about these things. And have you had a predictive reading before, and what was that like? Anyway, I will see you in the next video, and yeah, like, share, comment, all of that, or not. I'll see you in the next video.